All right, Nick, it's time to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. This is a team that, is in an arms race in that AFC West division. And they have had some guys on their team that's been really hyped up as big time weapons compared to one of the biggest weapons. None other than Hunter Renfrow has been named possibly as dangerous as a guy like Tyreek Hill, obviously in different ways. And we have a story that we're going to get into that and kind of talk about that a little bit. But before we get there, Raiders fans, you have a long and illustrious history from the Los Angeles Raiders to the Oakland Raiders to the Las Vegas Raiders. Tons and tons and tons of culture there out there in Raiders Nation. But we got to know, who was your favorite Raider to watch growing up? There's literally like 100 guys we could name. We picked a few. We think some guys like George Blanda, Charles Woodson, Jim Otto, Lincoln Kennedy. These are just to name a few, but let us know, who are your favorite Raiders to watch growing up. In the comments below, just let us know. But Nick, what's the deal with Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah, so this is according to the Clemson Insider, obviously, where Hunter Renfrow went to school. A top NFL defensive back isn't sleeping on Hunter Renfrow and has a lot of respect for the former Clemson star and current Las Vegas Raiders receiver. Los Angeles Chargers All-Pro safety Derwin James appeared on the Pivot podcast, hosted by former NFL players Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and Channing Crowder. And when talking about some of the toughest players he has had to guard in the AFC West, James mentioned Renfrow with guys like former Kansas City Chiefs All-Pro receiver Tyreek Hill and Raiders Pro Bowl tight end Darren Waller. Clark jokingly responded, Hunter Renfrow, the encyclopedia salesman, obviously a kind of disrespectful comment to Renfrow, but James, dead serious, like straight look in his eyes, says, nah, that ain't no encyclopedia salesman. Turn the film on. You watch film, don't you? Obviously, this is big respect, Mize. You got a guy in Derwin James who just got paid big money. This is one of the top safeties in the NFL. He's gone up against a lot of elite offensive players in a short career in the AFC. I mean, James was the guy that was literally assigned to Lamar Jackson to shut him down. And to literally put a guy like Hunter Renfrow in the conversation with Tyreek Hill and Darren Waller, this is huge praise for Hunter Renfrow, who obviously is coming off a big deal himself. What do you think of James's comments and Hunter Renfrow in general here?
I think it's pretty interesting. Not anything that I am unfamiliar to. Obviously, Renfrow coming out of Sauk City High School, where I used to live in Horry County for a while. He was always the biggest talk around town. Obviously, going over to Clemson High School, also, or Clemson University, also in South Carolina. Very familiar with Hunter Renfrow. He is a guy that defies all physical odds, because when you look at him, he is not a physical specimen. He's not really that big. He isn't really that fast. But when you look at him, watch him in a game. I implore you to go back and watch the film, like James says. He's always open. He is always open. Third down, he's open. He's going to catch it every single time. He is truly a weapon out there in a different way. Obviously, he's not like, a blow the top off defense type of guy like Tyreek Hill, but he is about as valuable to that Las Vegas Raiders offense as Tyreek Hill probably was for Kansas City and is going to be in Miami. Renfrow is a guy you actually probably need to game plan for. It's like the Tom Brady thing where he would write a player's name down on his armband to look for that number every play. Look for 20. Where's Ed Reed going to be at every play? You might want to watch 13, see where Hunter Renfrow is going to be every play, because he is sneaky and he will get open and he's going to get that first down on third down every time if you don't watch for him.
Yeah, especially when you look at Hunter Renfrow and who he matches up stylistically. We brought up some all-time great Raiders, but how about an all-time great receiver who had very similar characteristics in more ways than one, and that's Wes Welker. And now we compare what Wes Welker was to the New England Patriots, and then they brought in Randy Moss and what happened with that offense in 2007. And under offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, now compare it to what's going on with the Raiders. They have their Wes Welker and Hunter Renfrow. They have their Randy Moss and Devontae Adams, and they have their offensive coordinator play call in Josh McDaniels. So you can see exactly what's going on here with the Raiders bringing in Adams, locking down Hunter Renfrow long term. And you can see what the special dynamic they're trying to recreate was that 07 Patriots offense that was absolutely unbelievable. You've got your big play, clear-cut number one superstar receiver in Devontae Adams, comparing him to Randy Moss. And then you got your, third down nightmare, always open, just keeps defenses up at night. You saw Derwin James, great player. talking about how they have to game plan a guy just because he's so smart, so clever, and really so fundamentally sound in his routes. I mean, he breaks people off with his, just his precision route running and quickness. Teams are going to have to worry about both of these guys. And this Raiders offense, just like that '07 Patriots offense, is going to be really explosive and really tough to stop.
Yeah, no, and I think one thing McDaniels is thinking about is you go out and you go out on your own. And McDaniels has gone out on his own before, but this is, the second time around. And history shows second time coaches are a little bit more successful. But he probably thinks back in his head, what was my favorite thing, my piece de resistance. That was probably this '07 Patriots offense.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the greatest scheme thing I've ever cooked up. One of the greatest offenses of all time, arguably. And you can see he's building. Obviously, Darren Waller could probably be comparable to a Gronkowski type weapon at tight end. Devontae Adams and Randy Moss are comparable. Wes Welker and Hunter Renfrow are comparable. There's a lot of aspects that are very, very similar. They have a stable of running backs. They've got a great pass catching back in Zamir White, just like the Patriots always have had traditionally throughout history. You've got your big bruiser back, almost like a prototypical Patriots running back like LeGarrette Blount and Josh Jacobs.
Exactly.
There's all kinds of similarities here. And I think McDaniels is trying to rebuild that offense exactly like you said. All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.